So Shakur Stevenson got into a bit of a back and forth with a fan on social media. You may recognize this man right here if you are on boxing Twitter. So Two-Tone the Superstar, he says, Richardson Hitchens, Shakur Stevenson, Tank, and others love to say levels, but when they matched up with the dog, it turns into just talk. Devin and Theo are levels above them. So clearly shooting shots at Shakur, Tank, and Hitchens. So Shakur Stevenson was the only one who responded to him, and he says this. He says, Dick Rider, deal lost to Kambosos, and your man's lost to Loma, but I get it, LOL. Of course, Devin Haney, even though he did defeat Vasily Lomachenko, I was actually at that fight. You know, a lot of people feel like Vasily Lomachenko was robbed. But this was only the beginning of their back and forth because things would start to get a little bit personal. So Two-Tone the Superstar would respond to Shakur, and he says, no Diddy, LOL. Dio went to 140 after Kambosos, and Devin went to 140 after Loma. Now Dio definitely needs to run it back with Sandor and possibly Ortiz, Edwin still at 135. Shakur Stevenson responds and says, so it's cool for them to not run it back, but I gotta run it back even though I clearly won and with one hand. Of course, he's talking about his previous fight that was highly ridiculed. He also says, funny thing is, I don't even mind running that shit back with dude, but you nothing but a fat, musty dick rider telling on yourself. Now, this is where things clearly got personal here. Two-Tone the Superstar responds and says, like you said, Devin would be drained at 135. Now, if Loma went to 140, myself and the world want to see that fade again. Theo couldn't make 135 for Kambosos. You think everyone trolling when they criticize you for not running back with Edwin, that Edwin fight on your legacy. Now you can see Two-Tone the Superstar, he's trying to keep it to boxing. He hasn't made any, actual personal disses or has said anything personal about Shakur Stevenson. Now clearly, Shakur already got a little bit personal calling him fat and musty on his previous tweet. Ray Jackson, if you're on boxing Twitter, you also recognize this account. He says, you really want to see Shakur rematch Edwin, who can't even cut the ring off? Two-Tone the Superstar says, yes, I want to see Kerr stop, bro. And then all the slander stops. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I do know Shakur kept on responding. Okay, so yeah, here is Shakur Stevenson's next response. He says, don't come to no fights, fat man. So I don't know, that's kind of a little bit of a threat there, especially if you know who Shakur Stevenson is and who he's managed by. If you don't know, go do your research. Two-Tone the Superstar responds and says, I can't wait to see a generational talent like Shakur in person. Now this is Two-Tone the Superstar. Looks like he has had a bit of a weight loss journey here, so congrats to this man. And I'll be honest, I don't know who this man is. We follow each other. I've never interacted with him. Shakur would respond to him. He says, you don't stand a chance, fat man. Two-Tone the Superstar says, chance at what? If you're trolling, cool. Hold on, let me zoom in on this. If you're trolling, cool, but if not, then get out your feelings. N-word. Have that energy for Gervonta or Edwin. You knew N-words, emotional AF. When N-words on your dick, no Diddy all day. I hope you never lose because the social media breakdown gonna be musty. And that's true. I mean, Shakur has talked a very big game throughout his short boxing career. And I only say short because I feel like only in the past maybe year and a half, people will actually know who Shakur is. Unless you really watch boxing, you had no idea who Shakur Stevenson was, let's be honest. So he's definitely talked a lot of trash, and everyone thinks he's this prodigy pretty much. Ever since, he was in the Olympics early in his career, Terrence Crawford, Clarissa Shields, a lot of people have said, he's the next up, he's the next big, superstar, the next Floyd Mayweather, whatever you want to call it. They say, Shakur Stevenson is next in line. Now, Shakur Stevenson, of course, he would respond. He says, you think I care what they do? Too bad. They never gonna see it happen. And what? I'm having energy for them, for one of them lost to me already. The other haven't said nothing about me. Don't get scared now. You said you in Jersey July 6th, right? Two-Tone the Superstar says, I will be in Jersey July 6th at the fight, looking at flights now. And Shakur simply responds and says, bet. And for those that don't know who Shakur Stevenson is managed by, I know I said for you to look it up earlier, but let's just look it up while I have you guys. So yeah, he's managed by J Prince. So I'm not gonna get into completely like who J Prince is. I know a lot of you guys know, some of you guys probably don't know. So my personal opinion on this is pretty lame from Shakur Stevenson. I mean, Shakur is really trying to bully this guy because he doesn't like what he's saying about boxing. He's not talking about Shakur's family. He's not talking about his personal life. None of that. Simply talking about boxing, and Shakur Stevenson is telling him not to come to a fight. And we all know what this means, the bet. I mean, come on, if you know anything about anything, you know what this means. Of course, Shakur is not going to indulge what he's going to actually do to him if he sees him in person, but the bet says everything. I mean, it's kind of like, all right, bro, see you when I see you. It's on sight. Like, and Shakur Stevenson is right. You don't stand a chance. I mean, shit, most of us don't. He's a professional boxer. He's undefeated. He's looked at as a prodigy, the next up. So, I mean, I don't really know what Shakur is trying to prove here. And you're not going to be able to fight everyone who critiques you. It's just not going to happen. And look, they got... Here's what it is. I don't like it. But yeah, Shakur, you're not going to be able to fight everyone who critiques you. If you plan on being a boxer for the next 10 years, 15 years, which I'm sure you are, be prepared to be critiqued by a lot more people. That's just the honest truth. Anyways, guys, leave your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Anyways, guys, that will do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video next.